Very, very good evening from Finland. And warmly welcome into our full moon meditation, Scorpio full moon meditation. And also warmly welcome our interpreter and the Vietnamese group somewhere there in the ethers, and some of you who are now present. And also, I'm just wanting to warn you, I have something in my throat. I have been trying to really hold that the whole day. Hopefully, I am not going to cough too much. So this full moon, again, is one of the most important for us in relationship when we think about our incarnation as human being. This Scorpio is related us to whole humanity, and today we are going to talk also about the mythology, which is really, really interesting. I'm asking you to have your notebooks available. When we elaborate and open a little bit through the Vedic tradition, what all kinds of things are related to this full moon, we see that it is good everyone to make notes. It is the last full moon in Scorpio before the Great Conclave. So let us all just for a while sit in silence and just reflect upon this moment and also your last month. What are those things that you learned? What are those things which spiritual sense are leading you, directing you forward? What are those important notes and points that you would make for yourself to really make a consideration of them? So let us all just for a while tune in. So full moon in Scorpio is something to be recognized when we reflect our duties and responsibilities. We just had the time of Libra where we made the decision. In Libra, we all stand always under a great eye, and we are supposed to do every year. It's like that we have the possibility to go always deeper and deeper into the work and understand more about the soul. So now the soul has a possibility to make a huge leap towards flight, towards light. The moon itself is in Taurus, in the sign of light, and in Scorpio we really have a great possibility. For some secret reason that we cannot know, humanity is related to Scorpio via Mars, which rules the personality. And we can say it is also the ruler of the underworld. Well, all of these, when we think about the cosmic physical plane, and of course the physical plane upon the cosmic physical plane, all of that is called underworld. This is the place of Hades. This is the hell. And we are in that underworld. But via Mercury, who is the only god who has permission to go back and forth to Hades, the underworld, we are uplifted. And then via Venus, who is representing the human soul, but is in detriment in Scorpio, revealing the mystery which belongs to Makara mystery. And why the higher is bound in the lower, and through that sacrifice saves the lower. In Scorpio, we are always taken into that great mystery how the lower one is released. And Scorpio, in that sense, is related to Capricorn. When Capricorn finalizes this, all that is related to underworld phenomenon, thus to the moon. And so when full moon comes in Scorpio, it is a very powerful time. And again, moon is in practical terms in Taurus, in the sign of light. So everything behind the scenes is about the light when we think about Scorpio. And through Scorpio pours the fourth ray, which is about the fight. So in Scorpio, there is like constant struggle, all kinds of struggles and fights. And that's why we say, warrior am I. And from the battle, I emerge triumphant. The key words of this sign are significant and illuminating. Deception and triumph, control by Maya and control by the soul. Conflict and peace, such are the hidden secrets of this sign. And these are summed up for all disciples in the two key words. Upon the ordinary wheel whereon the soul is found, blind and apparently helpless, the word goes forth in the following terms. And the word said, let Maya flourish and let deception rule. But upon the reversed wheel, the soul chants or sings the words, warrior I am, and from the battle I emerge triumphant.
From the battle I emerge triumphant, warrior of light am I, the ancient Hydra have I slain. Warrior am I, and from the battle I emerge triumphant, not for myself alone, but to end my brother's pain. Warrior am I, and from the battle I emerge triumphant. Warrior of light am I, the ancient Hydra have I slain. Warrior am I, and from the battle I emerge triumphant, not for myself alone, but to end my brother's pain. Warrior am I, warrior am I, triumphant, triumphant am I.
Well, let us remember that we are triumphant. And these coming months, let us again reflect that we as a group, we should become or be the spiritual warriors. And there are certainly all kinds of, can we say, the last battles, something which is possible for all of us, for the whole group to be triumphant of. But we need to really very, very seriously now think about that. What is or what are those things we need to finalize for the next conclave, this great meeting? And when we think about that, the spiritual hierarchy, those great ones, those leaders of the races, those ones who have been purified themselves, who have been sacrificing throughout the ages for the rest of us. All of those great minds are meeting. In this meditation, we are thinking about this day. This is called also the festival of illumination. So those illumined minds are nearing us, and they are having their eyes upon us. That is one of the reasons why the humanity is reacting. On the year 2000, there was the impact from Shambhala, which has been moving through all the planes and have been organizing within. But humanity has so far, and this is my guess, always respond to the higher energies and Shambhalic energies, particularly by becoming negative and making more borders. And that is what we see. That's why the group like us, we should stand for freedom of the soul. Work now for this last months, and we may question that what does it make these last months, what we can do. But if you study Tibetan and how he was talking to his disciples, he was pointing very often few months, half a year instructions. And by those times, they were supposed to read something, or if they were doing what Tibetan was asking, they were reading something. So we can now think about, make your spiritual goals very clear to you. And we as a group, we should make very clear our spiritual goals. We need to help humanity. We need to stand for these spiritual values that the personalities in different groups and leaders of the world, because the average human being is responding with negativity and with separatistic ideas. We have to counterforce that. We have to make the door or open the door via invocation for the higher ones, that they can come and they will come and open the inflow from the higher worlds of the, which is bringing illumination, which is bringing light, which is bringing solution, which is bringing brotherhood, sisterhood, and the light. And making true the law of love on these lower planes. For us, again, this is great moment. Tibetan says, in esoteric astrology on the page 318. In Scorpio comes a point of transition, of change and of reorientation. And we could think about that when we think the time of the forerunner, which is the time for preparations, that certainly now this kind of possibility is given for us. That which has been hitherto hidden appears and is brought to the surface by means of the experience, the tests, the trials, and the sting of life. In Capricorn, as a result of the effects of the influences of Cancer, Virgo, and Scorpio, the disciple begins to demonstrate the capacity to express the life of two kingdoms, at least in some measure, and is a developed human being and also a citizen of the kingdom of God. Can you see now in your own life that you are in a point of transition, of change, and of reorientation? Prepare in your mind now for the coming moment of the full moon. Study yourself. Are you willing to go along with that opportunity which is given to us? And really make a conscious decision that you want to follow the higher road. Tibetan continues. Therefore, for an initiate and for a period of 3 incarnations, the 4 signs of revelation, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, and Capricorn, intensify their effect upon him until in the 4th incarnation he begins to respond to the inner influence of Pisces. He thus demonstrates his ability to react to the Shambhala influence, and when this influence is established, he goes out to salvage and to save. He acts consciously as a world mediator. I think in general, when we think about next year, for all of us, the presence of Shambhala will be strong. Let us prepare ourselves for that, to this high center. And as in our triangle work, we should help to build the Antakarana and thus the relationship from humanity to Shambhala. Let us now think other signs related to Scorpio. Now the triangle of water, which is formed by Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces. So let us contemplate. In Cancer, we are related to mass consciousness, and man is a conscious personality, and this is a result of the Cancer experience, which is consummated in Virgo. That is the way for humanity. The human center is active. In Scorpio, the influence of the occult hierarchy begins to set its seal on the human being, and his essential duality is put to the rest. This is preparatory to a new and higher unity. He is at the miserable stage of being neither the soul nor the form, the states of transition. Such is the way of the disciple. The hierarchical center is affecting him powerfully. As we all are closing some kind of era together, the era of the forerunner, and after that, our inner lives should be different. We should enter into now something that our lives have been having all the time, the goal and purpose. Think about this life, how it has been moving all the time to the point where we all are in that difficult, miserable state, being neither soul or the form. But how the hierarchical center is all the time affecting us more powerfully and more powerfully. And then in Pisces, the shambolic centers start to become more and more powerful. And basically, it is in that process when we think about this water process. It is heading towards the third initiation. And that is going to be then the way for the initiate. But we can think about, as said, that next year will be very much related to Shambhala. And the will to really make changes, will to respond to the king. Let us be more adults now in spiritual sense and think deeply. What is this life to be the disciple? What is that really what we should be doing? What is that really that every one of us should do finally before we leave this incarnation? Reflect the method of the water, what it is, the secret, how we are supposed to understand in relationship to our own chart. You can reflect where you find this triangle of water. Water purifies, and also it makes us more humble. And the same process when we think about how the soul is taking us under its grip. We are upon the cross. And this is the cross, fixed cross. Tibetan says the white magician must recognize the cross which stands in the heavens, upon which the cosmic Christ is crucified, and on which the white magician, being a cell in the body of the cosmic Christ, is also crucified. Technically and astrologically speaking, in this present eon, he must understand the inner significance of Taurus, of Leo, of Scorpio, of Aquarius, for they are potent in our world cycle. He must, if I may express it symbolically, and yet at the same time accurately, be able to utter forth the achievement which is the goal of his endeavor. In each of these 4 signs and under each of these 4 powers, you may reflect your own chart where you have these 4 signs, the fixed cross, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. In Taurus, he must be able to say, I seek illumination and am myself the light. In Leo, he will say, I know myself to be the one. I rule by law. The word he will utter forth in Scorpio will be, illusion cannot hold me. I am the bird that flies with utter freedom. In Aquarius, the word spoken will be, I am the server, and I the dispenser am of living water. All these powers we are supposed to gain and wield. Whenever we are in any of the arms of the crosses, we should think about the whole cross, and we should think about what soul tries to do in order to manifest and lead us to freedom. In Scorpio, spirit of devotion, which is based on the sense of duality and the need to go out towards that which is not the self, is turned in the reverse direction, and the urge towards liberation and the desire to tread the path of return becomes so strong that the disciple submits to tests, reverses, at tremendous cost and pain. His position upon the wheel of life and assumes the attitude of the observer, in contradiction to that of the experiencer. Old identification cease. New trends towards higher, subtler, and more spiritual identifications begins to appear. And then Neptune and Mars begin to play their part. You may reflect where you have your Neptune and where do you have your Mars. So let us now understand about this whole purpose in Scorpio. We have the Libra, where we traditionally say there is the decision made. And now the reflection of that is that reversing and the impulse of return. When we think about that is the whole impulse in humanity, the whole humanity is seeking the home. But this struggle and this short-sighted understanding about the enemy, that it is outer, it's someone else, not the enemy, that we ourselves have been created during the millions of years, the real dweller. It is within us. But this impulse to reverse, it is so potent and it is so strong. And this is what we see everywhere. And the search is going on, and within us, we should bring some of the answers for humanity by standing together now in that, at this doorway, at the portal. And it is kind of portal of initiation for whole humanity. And it is for us too. And we could assume that when the era of the forerunner is completed, there must be some kind of a moment for the group and the spiritual groups that the group initiation is at hand. It is something to really understand concretely and deeply. Think about. We all are supposed to do the best we can, and to think that very, very much in these last tests, like at school and in when we are graduating, we are giving our thesis now, we are giving our papers now, we are giving ourselves at the moment to the great ones. Hey, not yet, the cross is mounted and therefore left behind, but onwards goes the living soul, eyes fixed upon the cross, ears open to the wailing cries of all his brother's soul. And we say, illusion cannot hold me. I am the bird that flies with utter. Let us now look a little bit upon the astrology of the moment, but I'm not going to try to interpret anything particularly, just studying this via the ruling planets, because we should start to learn astrology the way that we are reflecting it upon our own chart and seeing in that sense the spiritual scientific facts that how we are then placed in this great drama of humanity, which kinds of roles we are playing and what kind of energetic contacts are done. So now when we think about the full moon, it's always that the father and the mother are in opposing signs, thus completing the astrology of the signs, which are only 6, not 12. That we should always consider the opposing signs as one side. So now father and the mother has come into this union point, which is like the marriage, when we are standing as equal powers and facing each other. So we start from Mercury, which is the highest ruler in Scorpio, and which is teaching us to become the sun. Mercury and the sun are one. And this is Mercury is one of those planets which is very important when we think about transitions and learning about the dual life, when we bring this personality and the soul together, the communication. And it is revealing the serpent power, which is so important to understand Scorpio and the serpent power, what it does in our lives. So now we have Mercury in Sagittarius, and it is opposing the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter. So you, if you have any planets there in those points, you have to study that. But then also Mercury is squaring Saturn. And this full moon coincides with Saturn's station direct. It turns to direct. It is a rare and critical moment when Saturn, the Lord of Time, the limitations and deadlines, stands dead still. This cosmic tipping point can bring a new chapter in work and commitment. So please let us note that. So this, whatever it has been for all of us, all limitations in testing time, now make a note for yourself. Now the Saturn starts, the planet of disciples, the planet of opportunity, the planet of time starts to move direct, or it has moved already, as well as breakthroughs in long-standing delays and frustrating stale periods. This also is given now during this full moon. By the way, this full moon has very, in mundane astrology, they would be considered difficult aspects, but they are the soul aspects. So in that sense, it is just manifesting that what we are supposed to do. We are on different crosses. And now we have the very, very last degree, Pluto in Capricorn, 29 and 55, which is opposing the exoteric and esoteric ruler, Mars. And Pluto is the special ruler and very important ruler in Scorpio. Thus, the serpent power, which we can also think about Pluto, was in old Egyptian time illustrated Sirius as a serpent, or having those serpents, and Sirius was revealing the powers of the Ra, the sun, by using the serpent power. So what does it mean? Sirius can be looked like it's the energy of the real initiator, but it is like the highest self of us, highest source for us. And it brings for us the understanding how to reveal the real inner spiritual powers. So that is what Sirius is doing. And Pluto directs us to Sirius. It's the very ancient knowledge, the Anubis dog, which is bringing us the smelling the soul impulse and the soul life. So now the Pluto opposing the exoteric and esoteric ruler, so the special ruler opposing exoteric and esoteric ruler, which is now in quincunx, which is this aspect of the soul, bringing the soul effect. Venus, and Venus is in detriment in Scorpio. So we have very powerfully related all of those rulers, and you could think about in relationship to your own chart. And then Pluto is also trining now the full moon, which is the moon which is in conjunction with Uranus, the new impulse. And the Saturn, which is about old, is going direct. It's very fascinating. So, and then we have still the sextile with the Pluto and Neptune going on. And this is indicating the gifts or the harvest. This is bringing all these old tests or the time of tests and whatever we were looked through these 14 years when Pluto has been in Capricorn. Now the Christ is giving us the prize for that. So are we going to gain flowers, or are we going to gain the branches, as we say in Finnish, some meaning that when we didn't do something correctly? This is very, very interesting and powerful. Powerful again in relationship to the rulers. And what this Neptune means in relationship to Scorpio. So let us now talk about this Kartik Purnima festival, which is the festival of light, which is guiding our path. It's a festival of illumination. So let us study a little bit about that. In esoteric astrology, Tibetan writes, in certain ancient formulas, the great teacher of the West and the present world initiator Christ is spoken of as Neptune, who rules the ocean, whose trident and astrological symbol signifies the Trinity in manifestation, and who is the ruler of the Piscean age, and who is going to be the ruler also for the next age. The formula runs as follows, speaking esoterically. The fish goddess who have leaped from earth, Virgo, to water, Pisces, unitedly give birth to the fish god, the Christ, who introduces the water of life into the ocean of substance and thus brings light to the world. Thus does Neptune work. This is, however, a great mystery, revealed only at the time of the second initiation. It is prophesied that the water god or the fish god, the Christ, is rising from the ocean in the west. According to the Tibetan, when the great conclave is, the Christ is going to make his decision when he is going to incarnate. And we may assume that all of us now tested to work with the Christ when he is coming. How many times we are thinking about that, I know that not too often. But that is the great fact which is happening behind the scenes. Try to think about your own role in relationship to this. This day, which is called Kartik Purnima, is said it is also the birthday of Matsya, God Vishnu's fish incarnation, which is called the Avatar. This day is called the Deva Diwali or Deva Vali, return of the Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu is Neptune. So this is the return of Neptunian powers or Neptunian effect. And the form of Vishnu is in the form of Matsya, the fish. Vishnu relates to the planet Neptune, and the second aspect. Avatar is a concept within Hinduism that in Sanskrit literally means descent. It signifies the material appearance or incarnation of a deity on earth. This avatar, the coming of the avatar by Vedic tradition, was indicated by a comet. It was said that the avatars were riding on a comet, and this comet, which was just passing a few weeks ago, we cannot see that anymore. It is behind the sun. But we still could relate that the messenger and to this avataric influence, and as said that in Sanskrit the avatar means descent. What type of energies were descending with this messenger, this comet? Let us still reflect that. This day is also called Birth of Humanity. The returning of Matsya, returning of Vishnu. The central characters of this legend are the fish Matsya and Manu. The character Manu is represented as the legislator and ancestor king. The lonely survivor Manu re-established life by performing austere spiritual meditation practices, and jasna sacrifices. There was a great flood, and Matsya was saving Manu. The goddess Ida appears from the sacrifice done by Manu, and both together initiate the race of Manu, the humans. It's really interesting to think about that how in this sign, Scorpio, we have these legends, which are certainly telling about when we think about Vedic tradition, which is said that it's the oldest teaching on earth, the written teaching on earth. And Scorpio related to humanity. the sign of humanity. So there is this myth how Manu, helped by Vishnu, the second aspect, was doing by its these saving forces, these spiritual meditation, sacrificial practices. And that's why there comes human being. Is it not interesting to think about that? So the myths are not finishing yet. Another myth is related to this day. It is this Hindu festival which is celebrated also on behalf of Shiva, who in the form of Tripurantaka, killer of Tripurasura, kills Tripurasura, the triple demon, with one arrow. Tripurasura had conquered the whole world and defeated the gods. He had also created 3 cities called Tripura. They are these 3 lower forms. They are, of course, centers on 3 lower 18 planes, or lunar planes, which are under the control of the demon Tripurasura. So the Shiva in one arrow is killing this triple demon. But which is also interesting that there is another myth which is related to Kartikeya, and he is the son of Shiva. Also into him is related to this killing the demons with one arrow. And he is the god of war. But listen to this. He is one of the names is eternal youth, which is related to Sanat Kumara. And this is revealing something, really something about the relationship with the Mars and our planet Earth. And somehow our planet is going to, or its destiny is something about helping also Mars. And Tibetan talks about this hidden, he is not revealing, but he's talking about this karmic relationship with certain planets. And it is very strong indicated that he is talking about Mars. But this full moon again relates, it is called Kritika Nakshatra. So the moon is now near this area, which is called this Kritika Nakshatra, which is the star of fire, and its symbol is the sharp blade. And this is called Kartika in Buddhist tradition, which is this Kartika, which is destroying ignorance and thus leading to enlightenment. So somehow, according to these myths, we have the whole moment of the full moons. Tibetan says about that nowadays we have these 3 full moons which are important for humanity, which are the Easter and Vesak and Christ Festival, Gemini full moon. But certainly the Scorpio full moon in the future will be one of the most important. This full moon cuts through the veil that separates truth from illusion and allows to us to see beyond our normal awareness. So let us really think about how this Kartika, which is also those higher beings, they are holding this symbol, which symbolizes the severance of all material and worldly bonds. And it is often crowned with the Vajra, as we see on the top of here, which is said to destroy ignorance. So these two we will hold within ourselves. That today we have possibility when we really work with the magic. Think about that we as a group, we use this energy which is symbolized by the ancient ones, talking about the sharp blade, the knife. And also because it is near the star of fire, we have the fire ceremonies, the great possibilities to burn away everything which is old, which is not helping us in our goals of a spiritual life. And thus we know that Lord Agni, he is the one who is behind all these purificatory, initiatory energies this time. It's not the water that we are purified, it's the fire that we are purified. So let us align with the Lord Agni. And now imagine, now when we are at the eve of great changes, imagine, think about it, those things that you want to be burned away. And bring that into your inner ceremony. Actually, you can do also the ceremony that you write these things down into the paper and then burn them. But now, in our imagination, let us put our thoughts forward and burn everything what is the old, what is preventing our soul to express more freely, and burning away, preparing now to the new. Look towards the next year and open the way now at the time of the full moon in Scorpio. align with this just newborn substance, what you are going to use magically, seeing that the whole group is now prepared itself for the inner ceremony, sanctified and being ready to be used. Use this moment to envision for this time towards the conclave. Try to align all the people around the world, those who are not aware at all, but then those who are aware. Make yourself ready. And use this full moon, the way that you are walking through the full moon consciously. This is a festival of returning Vishnu. This is a festival related to Shiva. This is a festival of illumination. Let us align with the members of the hierarchy and align with the energies of Sirius. All these higher energies cooperating with the inner realities, and use this moment to create something which is now building the new world. At the time of the new moon and of the full moon, all members of all ashrams meditate deeply in an invocative and evocative manner. Align with those inner meditators. And have a living contact as also with the Master DK. He has promised to be at present during the full moon and help his disciples. Imagine that you are retreating more consciously within towards that point of contact where personality, soul, and the teacher in the inner world of souls can meet and become as one. And as we have been already practiced, rehearsed for over a year, we align with the Master DK sacred place in Himalayas. Imagine yourself as standing before a golden ivory door. See that door slowly opening, revealing a long, low room with 3 windows. One looking east, one looking west, and one looking north. Seated before the eastern window on a low carved chair, but looking towards you and therefore sitting with his back to the window. You may visualize your Tibetan brother in deep meditation, seeking to contact you and all for whom he is as a teacher responsible. Then picture yourself as advancing slowly up the long room, which is his study and workroom. And then standing before him. See also your group brothers and sisters standing with you. Then each of you can constitute himself in imagination as spokesman for his group and offer the group in service and deep consecration to the service of the plan. See him now standing up. Him and the whole group turns towards the east, the direction of the teacher, and the group salute the great ones. Let us salute Master Morya. Oh. Salutations to Master Kutumi. Oh. Salutations to Master Paul the Venetian. Oh. Salutations to Master SPIII. Oh. Salutations to Master Hilarion. Oh. Salutations to Master Jesus. Oh. Salutations to the unnamed seventh ray Johan. Oh. Salutations to the three great ones, the Manu, the Bodhisattva, and the Mahachohan. Oh. Salutations to the three Buddhas of activity, Sananda, Sanaka, and Sanatana. Om. Salutations to our Father, Sanat Kumara in Shambhala. Om. Salutations to the Christ. And let us say, we have gathered in your name, Lord Maitreya, be with us. And we welcome His presence. When we have accomplished this, now facing the east, we together say the great invocation. Endeavor consciously to follow Master DK's lead as we say the words, and listen with care using your imagination. This will involve intense concentration. And silence. In Scorpio, we have this secret: by kneeling, we rise. When we think very seriously, that is also a demand from us, that when we go through the portal through Scorpio, we have to be able to manifest humility, which is then something which we complete and really learn in Capricorn. But still, in Scorpio, we look forward and towards the future. And we have to be very, very strong within ourselves and towards ourselves. Look with the eyes of truth. Not any rebel or pride we can take with us if we may think that we are working with the Christ. So let us say together, I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Let us mark this moment magically, that we have come together under the energies of the full moon, which are pouring and continue to do their work. If we are occultly able to really manifest and work with these energies, and not only in our imagination. These are serious moments for all of us to really look how our lives are and how much, even from our own eyes, how much we could be used. Let us return in our awareness and imagination into the workroom of Master DK, in the presence of the Christ and in the presence of the Lord and Master DK. Let us now give our gratitude to the Master and complete our meditation with him. And leave his room, but realize that we are not turning our back to the Master. And quietly we close the door. And return in our chair. Because this is so very meaningful and also turning point, if we may have enough occult powers. I'm going to now not exactly close this meditation. I will play a few musics and you can continue working for a while and reflect and try to get these thoughts manifested and write into your notebook. if we choose so, if we choose really consciously to cooperate and learn white magic in our lives. So I'm just going to play this music. I'm wishing you a very, very meaningful full moon time. Lots of love. And tomorrow we are going to continue then at this 6 p.m. GMT with the 12 heartbeats of peace meditation. And if there are other meditations, Michael will put that into the chat. But just letting you know to work in your own time and space and use this moment. So many, many blessings to everyone and lots of love. And let us continue working with the energies of the full moon.